doing, Peter? Whoa. Peter. Good boy, good boy. So I did bring in some goodies on this trip as well. I scored these TV trays. I got 2 of them at a garage sale. The price was right on these, so I picked these up. I thought these would be nice to have back here. And then, check this thing out. I got this little handheld portable radio. I got it off Amazon for like 11 bucks. And it just runs on AA batteries, which is perfect for back here. You know, it doesn't have to be plugged in or anything. I want to see. I haven't tried this out yet. I'm hoping I get a couple channels back here. Nice.
Fired from command this past April.
Sweet.
Why do they make any bad movie?
That's pretty good. It is nice, you know, during the winter, so you're not just sitting here in silence all the time. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with this so far, actually, for 11 bucks to be able to listen to the radio if I want to. That's a pretty sweet score. So this Moss Chinking is going to hold up pretty well. You know, like I said, you want to get it really, really tight. But, you know, last night it was ripping winds. You know, pretty good storm last night and never lost any. Or none fell out in any of the spots I've done. But over time, you know, in little spots it will. But, you know, it's just going to take a little bit of maintenance once in a while. But it's free. Like I said, I have tons of it around, so it's a good way to go. And then this stuff, like I said, it stands out a lot right now. It doesn't look the greatest. Like when you look at this wall that's done, you know, it looks dark. That will, when it dries out, like I said, it'll blend right in with the logs. Here's a picture of my log cabin workshop and what this will look like once it's cured. So in a couple months, it won't be green and dark looking. It'll be a lighter color and it'll just blend right in with the logs. And there is so many different ways you can chink a log cabin. You know, I think a lot of people get caught up in using like nothing but modern building materials all the time, but log cabins have been around a long time, long before modern building materials. Modern building materials are sweet. They're awesome, for sure. But people used to just do what they had to do, you know? People would stuff cobs of corn in between here. They'd stuff clothes in between here. Clay, you know, you can do it with mortar, anything. Because all you're doing, you're just trying to prevent the wind from coming through these logs. Log cabins aren't the greatest for insulation, you know, or heat retention, because all that you have, you know, instead of a stick frame building where you have studs and then you pack that full of fiberglass or wool or that blow-in stuff or whatever, your logs, this is however thick your logs are, that's all you have for R value. So any gaps that you have in between, you're not really going to get much. All you are doing is just preventing wind from coming in here. So you're just trying to seal the cabin up, basically. And yeah, as long as you got a wood stove running in a log cabin, it's going to be warm. But yeah, you can use anything. You know, I've seen fiberglass, just regular fiberglass insulation. That's a pretty cheap, easy way to do it. You know, you just cut strips and just put it in, you know, in between the logs, same way I'm doing it with the moss. It works okay. If it gets wet, it's not very good, obviously, but, and you know, with squirrels and you know, they'll and birds too, you know, they'll come and take some of that stuff or try to get at it to use it for their nests or whatever. So I guess that's kind of the only downside. But yeah, like those modern materials they have, like permachink, that stuff is really, really, really good. Like if you were trying to build a 5-star log cabin, you know, a multi-million-dollar log cabin, that's what you're going to use. But this is rustic wilderness log cabin. You know, that's what this is. It's not, and that's the look I'm going for. And that permachink stuff is very expensive. It's like $500 for a 5-gallon pail, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little less than that, but it's expensive. So to do this whole cabin, it's just not worth it to me, you know. I like the moss. It's natural, and it does the job. You know, this is how people used to do it. Oh yeah, we're actually getting if you guys remember a while back, I said that we were going to get a kitten, and we are picking it up, or Sierra's picking it up on Sunday, and then bringing it back. So as of Sunday, we'll have another member of the family. So yeah, this winter when I'm staying out here, we'll have the cat, Skeeter, and then the chickens and the ducks will be out here with me as well, primarily. We will go back to our other cabin once in a while and spend time there too, but our primary spot's going to be here during the winter. Where is he? Well, the chinking continues. As you can see, it's a pretty messy job. So I gotta sweep all this up, but I'll finish this wall and then I'll clean all this up. Well, good morning. This is my bed, since I don't have any bunks or anything in here. Just a little Reflectix pad. It's actually pretty comfortable. Skeeter likes it too. But I got all the chinking done last night, so all 4 walls are done. I just have a little bit left in the corners in some spots. But I'm glad to have that done. That was a pretty tedious, slow-going job. And it's kind of one of those jobs where it's fun for like 5 minutes, and then after that, it's just, you're kind of ready for it to be over. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. But good to have it done. Okay, well, I think all I'm going to be able to accomplish on this trip is getting the chinking completely done. So I started on the outside already. I got this side of the cabin done. Well, I got the front done, so it's all just moss. All the foam's gone. And then I did this side as well, and I'm working over on this side here. I did do a little burning late last night, so that's why that's still smoldering, but I'll put that out, pour a bunch of water on it before I leave. But there's just still a little bit of foam crumbs on this wall, so I'm gonna get those removed and then finish chinking the outside where I need to. The whole outside doesn't need to be done. It's just in a couple spots here and there that I think should be done. You know, this takes a lot longer than what you think it would. You think it would go really fast, but if you want to do it right, it takes a little bit of time. And I think when it's 40 below this winter, I'll be glad that I took my time and made sure it was really tight. And this is the only time I'll ever have to do it, you know. I won't ever have to do this job again. Just here and there, you know, a little patchwork once in a while, maybe every year, but nothing major. So yeah, I was hoping to get the cabin jacked up, at least this trip as well, but I think it'll be better next time I come. That's what I'm gonna focus on, is getting the cabin lifted up and getting the porch floor built. You know, I have a 4-foot overhang here on the front of the cabin, so it'll just be, you know, 1 sheet of plywood this way. It's 12 foot by 16, this log cabin, so it'll be a sheet and a half of plywood is all for the front, but it'll be nice just to have a flat wood surface, you know, so you're not just stepping in dirt on the way in. And then with this being lifted up, I will have, yeah, I want to lift it up, like I said, about a foot, maybe 2 cinder blocks high, we'll see. But then I'll have like a couple stairs, a stair or two, you know, going up onto the porch, and it'll be nice to just have the cabin a little farther off the ground and be able to store things underneath it and that sort of thing. Back in here a little bit, I'll need to cut a little walking trail back here. I'm gonna build a little platform like 2 feet high and pitch my wall tent on it. So that wall tent's 10 by 12 with a 4-foot porch. So I'll build it 10 by 16 and have the wall tent set up this winter. I do have a few buddies that want to come out and hang out, and it'll be a little crowded inside the cabin, so they'll have the wall tent to stay in if they need to. But also, like I've said before, that doubles as kind of an emergency shelter in case the cabin burns down this winter. Because if it's 30 below and the cabin burns down in the middle of the night, and you know, you're in your long johns, you know, a log cabin is one big piece of dry firewood. So if a fire starts in there, it's going to go up quick. You're not going to have any time but to get out of there. So I don't think that's ever going to happen, you know, but like I've said before, nobody ever plans on their house burning down. So, and if you're, you know, if you're this far out without something else to get into that's warm, it's pretty risky, you know. If you look at The Last Alaskans, that show, Heimo Korth and Edna, you know, they always had a tent set up, you know, and he talks about that, how he's like, people don't realize that, you know, you're running a huge risk by not having something else to get into. Just in case, you know, it could save your life for sure. Yeah, having a good wood supply inside that wall tent, you know, maybe a little bit of food, a couple other things, you know, some bedding, that will be definitely a nice peace of mind, and it'll double as a guest cabin, so that'll be pretty sweet. Well, it was a pretty good trip this time. I feel like I didn't get much done, but I really did. I mean, being 100% done with the moss chinking inside and out, that's pretty nice to have that accomplished. So no more foam look. I'll give you guys a full tour of all 4 walls in a minute here so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, I just feel like I wanted to get more done. But next time I come, I will bring lumber. So I'll bring some plywood, some 2x6s, and hopefully, well, the first thing I'm going to do is jack up the cabin and get the porch floor done. The porch floor will take no time at all. You know, that'll go really quick. Jacking up the cabin will take a little bit, but I should be able to get that all done in one day, I would think. So that is the plan. Then, depending on, as long as I'm bringing lumber, I'm going to bring lumber for the lofted bed as well and bang that out. That'll be a good thing to have done. And then also, I'm going to bring lumber for this right here. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So this wood rack, you guys remember I cut an opening here and that was where we had our little bathroom addition that first winter we were here. Some of you guys were asking if I was going to add that back on. I'm not at this point. Someday when we have kids, I am going to do an addition out the back. Just, you know, the cabin's 12 foot wide. I'll do like an 8 by 12 addition just for some bunks back there. But at this point, I'm going to cut that opening again. So this wood rack is the same dimensions as, you know, that opening I had. That's what this is doing. It's kind of covering that up because it looks funny, but I'm going to cut a hole again or get rid of the logs that I put in here, and then this wood rack is going to be recessed. So I'm going to build a little plywood box out the back for now, and that will make it so the wood rack's not taking up any room in the cabin. The wood rack will be outside. Well, it'll be boxed in, of course, you know, and that's what I'm just going to do with it for now. I think that's just the best thing until I do an addition, and it'll be pretty quick and easy to do. So I'm going to bring plywood for that, or frame that in. So then it'll be like a little wood cubby. But it'll be nice because it won't take up any room in the cabin. You know, in a 12 by 16 cabin, you want all the room you can have. And then the bed loft will come out about right here. So you'll be able to come underneath the bed and grab wood when you need to. And then I'll have a post right here, a 4 by 4 post, you know, that's going to hold up the bed. And I'm going to drive nails into that, and that will be like a little drying rack where we can come in and hang our jackets and gloves and all that. It'll be close to the wood stove. You know, you got to have a place to dry things out during the winter. And then underneath the bed, you know, this will all be storage. So the wood cubby will be outside. I won't stack anything in front of that because I need to be able to access that. But in this area here, you know, we can do like a little dresser or something to put our clothes in. And then have, you know, store things like these TV trays and all that. This foam, the rest of this foam is going to go up in the ceiling. Whatever I have left over at the end of that, I'll just bag up and haul out of here. It's just garbage. So this will give us some room to kind of have, yeah, a place to put our clothes. So that's going to be the nice thing about the lofted bed is, you know, our bed will be off the ground, not taking up space, and we'll be able to utilize the storage underneath it. So here's a look at all the moss chinking done. So whatever foam you see left, like in the ceiling, that'll all be covered up. You won't see it because it'll have plywood. So it looks pretty good, a lot better than the foam. And yeah, when this dries out and blends in with the logs, it'll look really good. This stuff's already drying out very nice just from the last time I was here. I mean, it was dry when I put it in, but now it's actually, you know, it's crunchy. So it's drying out good. And then it'll get rid of that dark color and it'll be more of a lighter color. It'll look nice. But yeah, we are totally done inside and out with the moss chinking. So I'm glad that's over. Well, all right, guys, I am going to head on out of here. I'll be coming right back in a few days, but we're picking up our kitten. So I'll show you guys that in the next video. I'm going to show our garden as well coming up at our other cabin and do a video there. And then I'll be right back, like I said. So that is what you can expect going forward. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you soon. On my way out here, looks like a cow and a calf. Walk down the road, moose. Already I've noticed a huge difference in wildlife around here since they've logged. A lot more deer and moose around. I mean, there was a lot of moose before, but and not a whole lot of deer, but now I'm seeing a lot of moose and deer signs, so it's gonna be good hunting.